Ladies and gentlemen, we are live this afternoon for another edition of NASCAR 21 Ignition Custom Schedule Season, race number 10 of 36 on the year. Back-to-back road course races for the only time of this custom schedule season. Last night we raced at Sonoma and probably, in my opinion, had the best race of the season. Christopher Bell was able to come back from 2 laps down after 2 flat tires in the first 17 laps of the race, only leading the final 2 laps. Only really had a chance because it was a fuel mileage race. He made it on fuel to the end, barely on fumes, when his 3 competitors that were still running ahead of him all ran out of gas in the last 2 laps of the race. So ended up going from 4th to 1st right there in those last 2 laps. Christopher Bell gets his second win of the season, first since winning at Talladega 4 races ago. But now to the Indianapolis road course for the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard today. 82 laps on tap for this one. We'll see if we can get through another race. So far, Bell has had a lot of upsides in recent races. He has made it to the end of 3 of the last 4 races now, after DNFing in each of the first 5 races of the season. And then, again, 2 wins to show for in the last 4 races. So we'll see what Christopher Bell can do here today as he looks to continue to turn things around. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content here in this one. It randomized the starting order up a little bit. It has us starting on the pole. So I originally qualified 20th. I did not have a great qualifying lap. But ended up qualifying in the 20th position, and I don't know if I should start on the pole or not. I might just back out of it and log back in again. So anyway, I qualified 20th, and then the game crashed a couple minutes ago before we were supposed to go live. It literally crashed at like 11:58. I thinking about backing out and then maybe trying to get a starting position closer to 20th, because that's where I'd like to start. It really randomized the starting order up, too. William Byron was originally on the pole, but now we're on the pole. I mean, look at the cars that are up inside the top 6. Chris Buescher, Corey LaJoie, Cole Custer, B.J. McLeod, Joey Gase. And then you got Byron in 10th, who's probably going to be really fast today. Chase Elliott 7th, who's going to be really fast, but they're going to have to get around some slower cars to get to Bell. You guys let me know down in the chat below. Do you think I should just start the race like where I'm at in first, even though I qualified 20th, or back out and try to see if the randomized starting lineup tries to like reorder itself in a better fashion next time around? Just start on pole. All right, that's what Tyler wants. Welcome everybody to the stream. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. This is our, pre-race to the actual NASCAR Cup Series Championship race at Phoenix today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Predictions video will be live streamed right after the finish of this race. Was not able to get everything edited in time this morning, so I will be just live streaming the predictions before the start of the race today. Without further ado, we're still going to say for the statistic purposes that William Byron is on the pole for this one, but it'll be Christopher Bell who will likely end up taking the lead here into turn 1, assuming he can outbreak the 53. Green flag is in the air. We're underway, the inaugural race at the Indianapolis road course. Look at B.J. McLeod taking it 3 wide on the start after the 20 of Bell. Did not get into the first turn very well. Side by side for the lead now between Joey Gase and B.J. McLeod. Cole Custer up to 3rd, and Christopher Bell loses a few positions there at the start of the race. My goodness. I don't think anybody was expecting him to get split 3 wide like he did, and what a move by B.J. McLeod to go from 3rd to 1st. Well, that was a wild start. So much for Bell having the lead into turn 1, like I stated, and those 3 are pulling away right now. Into the heavy braking zone. Bell off the curbing, can't quite get the power down as quickly as he wants to as he battles Cole Custer for position. Looking to take his time. That was one thing he was not able to do at Sonoma yesterday, was keep the car clean. He would love to keep the car clean here today. Made a nice pass after the exit of the S's before getting back into the short chute on oval 1 and 2. Passing Cole Custer. Really loose into the braking zone right there for the 53 of Joey Gase. Ethan Cap 24, welcome to the stream as well. Didn't shout everybody out before the start of this. My bad on that one. Just kind of realized it. But how about this? Noon start times. You gotta love it. Throwing it back to NASCAR's heyday, I guess. I guess not really all that long ago, but... Clean air is looking very crucial for B.J. McLeod. We saw him have some good runs on the road courses in NASCAR Heat 5. I don't think anybody expected this kind of a start for him today. Bell goes a little wide into the second turn. He'll stay in front of Custer and remain in third place. Oh my goodness. Curb really threw the 20 car around. He tried to carry a lot of speed in there. Was very aggressive. The pressure tires that allows for that to really take place. And he'll outbreak the 53 of Joey Gase this time, making the pass for second. A lot of that was made up into that chicane, where Bell was able to carry a lot more speed. They gave him a lot more on-throttle time for the straightaway, and he was later into the braking zone. Just a masterful job of getting by Joey Gase there. Chase Elliott still, after the 7th starting spot, has not cracked the top 5 yet. Might not have had a very good initial start to the race. Look at Bell close immediately, though, on the 78 of B.J. McLeod, who led the first lap. Bell is going for the lead now. A little bit of contact. And he's not going to be able to get it. That contact really slowed him up. Kept him from being able to make the pass on the 78 of B.J. McLeod. But now he gets a run back up onto the oval. Bell looks down low to the inside as they cross the yard of bricks. Looking for the lead. He'll hop back in the draft that time. He couldn't quite stay on him. Probably should have side drafted the 78 car a little bit better than he did. But into the first turn, Bell obviously has the superior race car. McLeod has led the first 2 laps, but I don't see that holding up very long. Another bump from Bell. That got the 78 car just a little bit loose, and Christopher Bell will take the lead. Looks like right around turn 3 and 4. Into the chicane, a lot easier that time. Didn't get thrown off the curbs, and he looks to pull away from McLeod. Watch McLeod win the race. He definitely looked strong there those first 2 laps, but Bell definitely has a lot stronger car. The guys we need to look out for in this one is Chase Elliott, obviously. William Byron qualified well originally for this race. Chase Briscoe qualified on the front row as well. Indiana native. Ran very well in real life at the Indianapolis road course earlier this season. Gonna have to keep an eye on when everybody pits in this race. The telemetry, there is none in this game, really. As simple as that. There's just no telemetry in this game. And being the leader, it's going to be harder to tell when exactly everybody pits. Unless Bell could get to lap traffic before those first pit stops happen. It's almost a 2.5 mile road course, so we'll have to see how this is going to work. Noon starts, perfect time. Yep, noon 1 o'clock. That's for local time. Like local time, noon 1 o'clock. So if it's on the West Coast, it starts at 3. That's all right. Wow, Bell almost overcooked turn 1. He did keep it on the racing surface, luckily. A little bit later into the braking zone than what he wanted. Almost blew that first turn. He did not have to serve any penalties at Sonoma yesterday. Did a very, very good job. And honestly, back at Coda, didn't have to serve any penalties for... Oh, never mind. I did cut the S's once. I remember I had to come to a stop. But outside of that, pretty good with the road courses so far this season for Christopher Bell. Outside of the fact he didn't make it to the finish at Circuit of the Americas earlier this season. Really hard into the braking zone. Could probably start to back off the throttle a little bit more. He's already about 4 seconds ahead of B.J. McLeod. Once some of these faster cars start to move their way up through the field, it's probably going to be a little bit easier, I'd have to imagine, for them to either reel Bell in or Bell not going to be able to pull away quite as much. But how about this? Looking for back-to-back wins. Only 2 drivers have 2 wins this year, both for Joe Gibbs Racing. Bell has 2 of the last 4 races won, and then Denny Hamlin won 2 races of the first 6 this season. The other Joe Gibbs Toyotas have a win. Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr. 1 apiece. Tyler Reddick's got a win on the season. Chase Elliott just won the last non-road course race, the last oval race at Martinsville. And then that upset winner, of course, Cody Ware back at Coda. It was looking like Elliott was going to go back-to-back himself yesterday, but ran out of fuel coming to 2 to go. That gave the lead to Kyle Larson, who was looking for his first win of the season. He's been close a couple times. And he ran out of gas coming to the white flag, giving Christopher Bell the win, who made it on fumes that extra lap. Wow. Well, that's the first time that Bell completely blew a corner in this one. At least he's keeping the car clean through the first 5 laps. 87 degrees is the temperature for this race, so it is a hot, slick day. Also going to make the handling for these drivers a little bit more difficult. Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, enjoy yourself too, Tyler. Hopefully you have a fun time, and maybe you'll be able to catch part of the Phoenix race today. Just crazy how much... It almost feels like the brakes are so much mushier than what they were those first couple laps, just having the heat in the tires on this hot asphalt. Something we haven't been able to do much in this game due to, well, only making it to the end of 3 races so far on the season of the first 9 completed, is alternate through the different camera angles. When we get back to the start-finish line this time by, we will do just that. I will say I'm also running automatic transmission in this one. I really thought about trying to test manual, but I didn't have enough time after getting all the stats for the pre-race to the championship race at Phoenix today. So I decided to... Let's go with automatic. Don't want to risk anything here. Again, usually I run manual, but with the new game and the different controls with the shifting being triangle and circle, and you can't switch it to R1, L1. It's a little bit harder, especially to learn on the fly. Fondale Everly, welcome to the stream. Definitely the flattest road course on the NASCAR Cup Series circuit. Our Crypto, welcome. No, well, there hasn't been a patch in a while. Oh, I was looking at the chat. Bell just completely blew the corner. Having a hard time trying to get the car to slow up. I don't even know where the track's at. Oh, don't black flag me. Don't. I thought the game was going to black flag me there for a second. That would have been really bad. I was looking at the chat way too much. Bell still got the lead. He was really pulling away from McLeod and the rest of the field. Well, now the lead's not quite as big as what it was. Second time he's gone way off course. Obviously, that one was a lot more egregious than the first time he went off the course. Still got a pretty big lead, though. It didn't cost him too much time. Yeah, so randomized the starting order after my game crashed because I didn't go back through and qualify again. And so that's why we actually started on the pole, even though William Byron and Chase Briscoe were supposed to be on the front row originally. We were actually supposed to start in 20th. I did not have a good 2 qualifying laps, or great 2 qualifying laps in the session qualifying and failed to make it to the second session. Yeah, no signs of Chase Elliott so far. Very shocked. William Byron's fallen way off the pace. We kind of noticed that at Sonoma yesterday. It seemed like William Byron was kind of getting slower and slower after having what looked like a top 5 car for the first half of the race. So we'll have to see if that will maybe end up happening again later today as we get further and further along in this race. Definitely noticed in that session qualifying as well with the hot, slick conditions of the racetrack, a lot of these cars were sliding around quite a bit. That ramp style curve, by the way, I tried to test it in session qualifying when I was done with my lap, or my couple laps, and it does not actually work. I was waiting to see if it was just going to throw the car like 80 feet in the air, but it didn't do that. It actually didn't really come off the ground at all. It's a pretty smooth curve, which is not the way it was in real life, but I'm actually kind of thankful in case we do end up missing that we don't just launch ourselves 80 feet in the air, but I did test it out. I was like, well, there were actually some cars that were catching some big-time air in real life, so I wonder if that's pretty accurate with the game right there, but I guess it wasn't. Seeing Christopher Bell really work the wheel. Taking the hand off to upshift, downshift whenever he needs. Get a really good feel of the race car. And a good look of what the drivers need to do on these challenging road courses. Compared to most other racing series when it comes to road course or street course racing, these stock cars have a lot less downforce, and on top of that, they are a lot heavier than any sort of open wheel racing. It's a lot less grip. But at least with the road course package in recent years, there's still been a pretty good amount of horsepower. And it has definitely created, really, since the Gen 6, I would say even the Car of Tomorrow era, that there's been some really, really fantastic road course racing, especially in the Cup Series. Super NASCAR Bros, Evan Board 23, welcome to the stream. Well, in my heart, I wanted Hemrick to win going into the night. Well, that's what happened. I figured Cindric was going to be the guy he had to beat because he was my prediction for the championship going into the race yesterday, and that was definitely the case. But Hemrick got the win. We were doing the live commentary of that race last night. We were having a lot of fun. The chat was going nuts. I was going nuts giving the live commentary of it. It was really incredible to watch. So I just saw Chase Elliott pop up on the leaderboard. He's in 8th place right now, so he lost 1 spot off the initial start. This has been a really smooth and clean lap so far for Christopher Bell. One of his better laps of this opening run. Again, in this game, not sure how far Bell can be able to push it on fuel. So when the time comes to make that first pit stop, he's going to have to be very, very careful. Kept the car clean so far, although it is a lot easier to do that when you're out in front of the field and pulling away as Christopher Bell is here in this one. It would have been very interesting to see how things would have went with him starting 20th after, well, I guess qualifying 20th, but I guess the game crashing was actually a blessing today that we were able to start on the pole because of it, even with the randomized finishing positions for qualifying. I'd have to imagine things will probably shake up in the running order a lot more when we get to the first pit stop of the race. We did go caution-free at Sonoma last night as well, so we'll have to see if that will be the case again here today at the Indianapolis road course. Had 2 caution-free races so far, and both of those races were won by Christopher Bell, so we'll have to be, or I should say we'll have to see if that will be the case again here today. I'm extremely happy, though, that Hemrick won the title yesterday. That was definitely a feel-good story. It seems like a lot of people were pretty positive about Hemrick winning the championship, so that's good to see, too. Guy's been through a lot of heartbreak on the racetrack, and great to see him finally come through in the clutchest of all moments, really. Oh, man, that car is definitely slipping through the chicane a little bit more. Bell's not able to carry as much speed, especially on the curbing. When you're on the gas getting into the curbing, it's not too bad. It's when you're trying to pick up the throttle on the curbing is when it really starts to get a little slick in this game, from what I've noticed. Again, this is the 4th road course I have ran at. I haven't raced at the Charlotte Roval or Watkins Glen yet. I haven't raced at Road America yet either in this game. I did race at the Daytona Road Course on the career mode. That just hasn't been uploaded on the channel yet. And then obviously COTA and Sonoma were the first 2 road courses on our custom schedule season. And now today at the Indianapolis Road Course, our first trip here. And the first trip ever here for the NASCAR Cup Series. Yeah, so my prediction for today is Kyle Larson to win the race and win the championship. We'll have to see if he'll be able to do just that. He is starting on the pole, so that's going to help. Him and Hamlin have the best statistical success at Phoenix over the career. I know Truex won there earlier this season, and Chase Elliott won the championship and the race last year at Phoenix as well. But you know, outside of those 2 races where Elliott and Truex are able to win, they haven't really been that consistent or great for the most part. Martin Truex Jr. is actually probably the 4th best driver statistically at Phoenix with his race stats compared to the other 3. But Truex has been so good on the 750 tracks this season, so you wonder if he can maybe pull through and get the Phoenix sweep this year, mainly because of that. And outside of his win at Phoenix earlier this year, a lot of forgettable races for Martin Truex Jr. at the Phoenix Raceway, but he's going to have some momentum going in, of course, with him being good on the 750 tracks this year, probably the best driver on the 750 tracks as a whole this season. And Chase Elliott, again, kind of the same way. Up until he won last year at Phoenix, he never really... He had some good finishes there, but no consistency to go with it. So the 2 more confident picks, I would say, would be Hamlin and Larson. Not only for their consistency throughout the season on any track as a whole this year, but at Phoenix, they're the 2 most consistent of the championship 4 drivers as well. with their Phoenix Raceway stats over the last 8 to 9 races. So again, more on that coming up in the predictions live stream leading up to the start of today's race. That will be after the finish of this race that you are seeing right here on the channel today. Hey, we saw Daniel Hemrick finally break through with a win. Maybe Hamlin can finally break through with the championship today in the Cup Series. Of course, probably the two favorites for the championship are drivers who have never won a championship in the Cup Series of Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin, so we'll see what they can do on one of the biggest stages in the sport. No lap traffic so far, at least, has been caught by the 20 of Christopher Bell. Which, again, we can't really tell if anybody is pitting or when they will pit. I would assume they'll probably make it to around 20 laps. That has been kind of the case for most of these road courses so far. It's right around lap 20. Well, it was more like lap 15 at the Daytona road course, but Coda, Indianapolis road course, and well, Indy we don't know because we haven't gotten to the pit stop yet, but Sonoma last night, it seems to be about 20 laps, maybe just over 20 laps for the AI and when they make their green flag pit stops. Bell's led all but the first 2 laps of the race. Keep hearing some like rattling going on inside the race car. Some of it is the clicking of the shifting, both up and down, but not all of it is. Like sometimes I didn't shift right there, I didn't shift there, got out of the gas, so you just hear some clicking. I guess some of that other stuff could be the actual throttle input. Looked like the field DNF. I hope not. I mean, it'd be an easy win for Christopher Bell. I'll tell you, won at Talladega this season, but I'd like to see some other competition. Yeah, this game, I mean, the leaderboard is, like, not accurate at all. Like, it's accurate with where they're running for position, and that's it, but the interval itself is not accurate for any drivers. I don't know why it randomly shows other positions around the racetrack, as Bell's going to go a little wide. It's probably the corner he struggled with the most so far is on entry off of the short chute of Oval 1 and 2. We're not sure exactly what turn that is, but it seems to be where he struggles the most. Yep. Coverage for the race starts at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. The race itself probably won't start till closer to about like 3:15, 3:20, but their coverage starts at 3. I guess it's noon local time there, too. That makes sense, though, with it being on the West Coast. How'd you get the black flag already? I don't actually have a black flag. I don't know why it was showing that on the in-car cam. I noticed that, too. I mean, we went wide in that corner right there in turn 7, but we didn't cut the course. I was trying to go back onto the racetrack, and it said black flag, but it's still showing us as the leader, so it's not like it's disqualifying us at all, so I'm just going to take it as if it didn't actually do anything. Hopefully that's the case. Yeah, you can see some of the cars at the back of the field. Bell hasn't caught them yet. But he will catch them fairly soon. We'll go back to the far chase cam for now. Lap 19 at the Indianapolis Road Course for the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. The inaugural NASCAR Cup Series race at the Brickyard on this custom schedule season for NASCAR 21 Ignition. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. It looks like Chase Elliott might have DNF'd already. He's back in the 40th position. He was obviously one of the favorites anytime you go to a road course. Ran very well in real life at the Indianapolis Road Course. Was top 3 all day long. Didn't quite get the finish, but it looks like Elliott is out of the race here in the early going, so a tough start for him. After coming very, very close to a win, if it wasn't for running out of fuel in the last couple laps, it looked like Elliott was going to win that race. But at least he's got a win at Martinsville, and he was still able to finish second place by the time he made it in the pits and went for the gas and go. A tough break. Doesn't look like Elliott's going to be going to victory lane later tonight. Oh my goodness, Bell. Very mushy in the braking zone there. Mushy meaning the tires are so old and the track is so slick. Just can't get the car to slow up. It's definitely sliding even in that finishing corner right there. You're having to kind of get out of the gas every now and then just to keep the car from wanting to drift into the wall on the main front stretch. Denny Hamlin is on pit road now as well. I'm not sure if that's a scheduled stop or not. We'll have to keep an eye on that if he can get back out onto the racetrack. There you see David Reagan at 36, so Elliott up to 37th. Very strange. Hamlin was in the pits as well. Chase Elliott is actually one lap down. He's on fresher tires and is running down the 20 of Bell. Working in his draft right now. Bell's coming in hot. Oh, my goodness. Almost cleaned out the 36 car of David Reagan. He saw Chase Elliott behind him, who was on fresher tires, and he blew the corner. Worried about what was going on in the rear view there. Well, now Chase Elliott's back on the lead lap if we get another caution. So Elliott was not out of the race. He was just one of the first cars to pit. Denny Hamlin on pit road as well to make his scheduled stop. Christopher Bell likely going to be pitting very, very shortly here. No telemetry. Don't want to take any risks. Going to try to take it 21 laps into a run, because if he can do that, he can make it on 3 stops today. Elliott being held up right now by David Reagan, and that's going to allow Bell to try to side draft the 9, but he is not clear yet. Elliott trying to outbrake the 20. He's got the fresher tires, but Bell will have the advantage on the inside getting into turn 1. Elliott holds clear. That 36 car of David Reagan is definitely holding Chase Elliott up. I don't know why there's smoke on the car. We haven't hit a single thing this entire race. It only does that when you're in the braking zone, and it's not like you're locking the tires up either, because it does it from like lap 1. Elliott finally was able to make a pass on David Reagan. So was Christopher Bell. Reagan a lap down on speed now. Maybe by short pitting, I could get Elliott some track position to get the second contact. Christopher Bell almost turned the 9 of Chase Elliott. Definitely slowed him up, and Elliott may have a tire down. First time Bell's made significant contact with somebody in this race today, and that was pretty significant right there. He's going to stay out one more lap. Not sure if Chase Elliott got the car rolling back again. Denny Hamlin has actually caught past Elliott after that mishap between Bell and Elliott. So lap 22 this time by for Christopher Bell. And he will pit this time by as well for his first pit stop of the race today. So Bell looking at a 3-stopper here in this one. Plus, by going 22 laps to start the race, he can just go 20 and 20 on the next 2 runs before pitting, making it a 20-lap run to the finish from the last pit stop. Josephina Bravo, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Almost said season. So trying to work around Ty Dillon in the 96 for the Gaunt brothers. A little bit of side-by-side action there as Bell will lap the 96 of Dillon. Ty Dillon was just going to completely cut down on top of the 20 car, so Bell will pit this time. Not sure what the pit road speed limit is here. Don't want to speed. I'm going to guess it's 40 miles an hour. Looks like it is 55, actually, so 55 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit today. Good thing I took it at 40 just to make sure, but now we know for next time. It'll be a 4-tire stop. I just realized we might be repairing damage here, even though we don't really have much damage. Obviously, we got into Chase Elliott, but nothing significant. Oh, no! And pulling out of the pit box was Eric Jones on the 43. And he hits the right side of the 20 car of Bell. Makes it all the way down off the pit lane and into his box. So this is a very unique style of pit stop here at Indianapolis with the road course configuration, having to service the left side tires before the right side tires. Phoenix uses mountain time? Are you sure? I thought Phoenix was Pacific time. That wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense if it was mountain time. I don't know why they would start the race at 11 o'clock local time. That'd be too early for them. Nice to know they don't give you a black flag for taking the pit road exit line to turn 1. I was put there to try and stay out of the way of the other race cars. Fresh tires, though, back on the 20 of Bell. BJ McLeod will take over the race lead for right now, at least, but he obviously will still have to make his pit stop. Christopher Bell's going to run it down very, very quickly with these fresh tires. Yeah, we got to make sure that we're not going to be repairing any damage on the next pit stop going forward unless we end up having significant damage. I mean, that contact with Elliott was about it today for contact with anything so far. More towards that left front. I'm pushing the car maybe a little too hard. Initially, at least. Bell going to try to outbrake the 78 of McLeod into turn 1. Maybe locked up the tires a little bit. Not that extreme as what the game looked like it showed. And look at how quickly Bell pulls on the 78 car of BJ McLeod. And he's going to make the pass now into turn 4. So, just like that, turn 4, Christopher Bell back in the lead. McLeod's got 4 laps led in today's race. Bell's led every other lap so far. McLeod led the first 2 off the initial start, and then 2 in the middle of green flag pit stops for Bell to retake the lead. So next pit stop will be scheduled for lap 42 for Christopher Bell. Most of the field has not pit yet. If they could go 25 laps, it may only be... Well, it'd still be a 3 pit stop race if he took it 25 laps, I guess. So maybe Bell was just thinking to split the race up. 20-20, or 22, 20, and 20. For his pit stops. I mean, they would have to go probably about 35 laps on fuel somehow if they are going to have a chance to make it. No telemetry. Bell didn't want to risk anything there, and obviously he's right back in the lead a couple laps after pitting, so no big issue there. Never got the caution. Or a caution in general so far. Yeah, it just looks weird when you have half points. Because of the rain-shortened races. I mean, I'm all right with the idea, you know, rain-shortened race, maybe rewarding half points. I don't think it's a bad idea, but the fact that they only really ran like 2 or 3 laps is where it's a bad idea. I feel like that's where I like how, you know, IndyCar and NASCAR does it, where you have to at least finish half the race. Or at least in NASCAR's case, either half the race or the first 2 stages, whatever comes first. But at least it's a good chunk of the race. Usually the first 2 stages lead you to right about halfway anyway, so sometimes even further into the race. A lot of the times it goes past the halfway point before you get to the end of stage 2, but there you see about lap 25, 26, a lot of other cars hit the pit lane that time. Oh, Bell slid quite a ways through the corner. He was still on the brakes when he was trying to turn the car. I'm surprised it didn't just lock up and go all the way into the grass like he did earlier in the race. NASCAR's pit boxes, F1 has garages. Well, F1's got pit boxes too, though. I mean, that's where they make their pit stops. NASCAR's got garages also. They're just behind the pit wall. But I'm pretty sure F1's the same way. I've only watched a couple F1 races, but the last time I checked, when they make a 4-tire pit stop, it's in a pit box. I mean, they'll even say, like, box this lap, so I mean, it's not like they're going to the garage. That's one of the few similar things, I guess, between F1 and NASCAR. Oh, Bell picked up a lot of time right there in the chicane to make his way around Timmy Hill in the 66. He was stuck behind him there for about a half a lap. Finally powers his way through. I mean, pit walls is like the same. It's the same concept. It might not be the same name. It's just like oversteer and understeer versus loose and tight. It's the same concept. It's same. It's just got a different name to it. Different terminology with different motorsports. I mean, it's practically the same thing. It's got the same purpose, I should say. Good draft that time for Christopher Bell. Pulling out of line on Ty Dillon. I don't think he's made his stop yet. Actually might have. Christopher Bell's crew didn't have that great of a opening pit stop. Yeah, stock cars are a lot heavier than open wheel cars. I did talk about that a little bit earlier, that for instance, IndyCar that races at the Indianapolis road course. In fact, multiple times in the last couple seasons, largely due to COVID. But anyway, yeah, I mean, they're way faster, but the cars are a lot lighter, and there's more downforce on the road courses, which allow the cars to be able to go ridiculous amounts of speed. But when you're going that fast, even with a lot of downforce, obviously you're pushing the edge, so it only takes a little bit to get loose, and you're in trouble because you are going that fast. Versus a NASCAR, kind of the same thing. Even though you're going slower speeds, because there's less downforce, all it takes is a little bit of a loose moment or a wheel lock up and around you go. I mean, you see it all the time in both motorsports, or both styles of motorsports. So, I mean, again, the concept of it is the same. It's just like the variance in speeds obviously differentiate between the two, but all those cars are hard to handle for their own right. Can we win again in 2021? We may. I mean, this has definitely been the best race so far for Christopher Bell. I'd say the best real race outside of Talladega that Bell has had so far this season. And I know, again, he won Sonoma last night, but we only led 2 laps, and it was the final 2 laps. We were in 4th place before the top 3 in front of us ran out of fuel in the final 2 laps of the race. We knew we were going to be pushing it to the end, and it would become a fuel mileage race, but boy, did that come down to the wire. Huge train of lap cars here. Bell is going to have to be patient. He's already made his way through a few lap cars over the last couple laps. In line behind the 23 for 2311 Racing, Bubba Wallace. Bell to the high side. Oh, man, he put it in the wall. Passing Bubba Wallace. Thank goodness I didn't blow the left front tire. That was a very, very risky pass on the high side and a very awkward angling portion of the racetrack in that final turn leading to the main straight. I was looking at my phone. I had a notification. I was trying to read it. Whoops. Oh, I didn't realize the cars are going to be slower in F1 next year. Does that have to do with, the engine package or something? I know they're getting a new car, but I didn't know the speeds were going to be slower. Ooh, great pass that time on 52 for Rick Ware Racing. Josh Balicki. Bell's getting through the lap traffic cleanly so far. Made a clean pass above the wall, so when he did, he just kind of clipped the wall off that finishing corner. Thinking about going to the outside again, decides to undercut the corner and cross over to the bottom now underneath Justin Haley, hugging that wall. Great crossover move. Faked high, went low. Was a lot earlier into the braking zone than Justin Haley was, and he was able to undercut to make the pass. A lot of room to break into turn one as he closes on the back of Michael McDowell, Matt DiBenedetto, and Anthony Alfredo. Seems to be the best passing zone of the racetrack for Bell. Look at McDowell trying to power his way back by the 20 to get back on the lead lap. Wasn't quite able to do it there. Now into the S's. Bell just kind of sitting behind DiBenedetto. They'll pull out a line and make the pass. That final kink in the S's clears Matty D. High set now on Anthony Alfredo, the rookie, in front of him. Eric Almirola, William Byron, the next two cars ahead of Alfredo. A little bit of a lockup that time for Bell. Kept it off the 38 car in front of him, luckily. Bell to the high side. Oh, he's going to actually try to make the pass this time. That didn't work. Now he'll try to draft off the 38 car. Going to try to break a little earlier into turn one. Not going to push the issue on the 38 car in front of him. To pass him in another corner. Well, he's got a good run there. There's a little bump to the back of the 38. Leaves Alfredo to go wide into turn four. And Bell will make the pass. Tyler Bond, welcome to the stream. Yes, Heat 5 is definitely way better. Vibin Marnes, welcome to the stream as well. Looking for a pathway to try and get around the 24 of Byron. Well, he definitely beat him back to the gas there. Had to check up behind him to keep from running into him, and he'll easily be able to outbreak him in one of the finishing corners. Makes the pass, now looking on Brad Keselowski. So with the race going caution-free at Sonoma yesterday, that there were a lot of cars that actually ended up finishing on the lead lap. Or sorry, a lot of them that finished a lap down. Bell pulls out a line. He'll side draft the two of Keselowski. Keselowski trying to side draft him back. Now Brad going to break a little bit earlier. And what an undercut if Keselowski can pull this off. And he's not able to do it, but the 20's going to go wide. Kind of stacking up the 2 and the 24 behind. Bell was caught by surprise that the 2 of Keselowski tried to cross him over, getting into turn 1, braking earlier to try to get the run off the exit of the corner. That caused Bell to go a little bit wide. Never say easy in NASCAR 21 Ignition, especially. Oh, Harvick almost spun off the curbing right in front of Bell. And Bell doors him in the next corner. He wasn't trying to make the pass on Harvick there, but Harvick checked up so much that Bell thought he might have had a chance to get by him. Couldn't do it cleanly, at least. I thought for a second Kevin Harvick was going to spin right in front of the leader. That would have been terrible. Harvick struggles with the handling of his car on these painted curbs. Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and Martin Truex Jr. are the championship 4. .49 laps to go yet at Indy. Plenty of time. Stenhouse overdrove the corner. Entered a lot flatter. Bell able to undercut that time and make the pass into turns 3 and 4. Big run. Bell's able to just power his way through. The S is so much better than everybody else. That is definitely the time, an area of the racetrack where he can gain that most time and really start to gap the field. Pass some lap cars obviously through there as well. Not in the middle of the S or in the middle of the chicane, but off the exit of it. Oh man, Tyler Reddick got into the side of Bell, knocked him into the grass. Bell made the pass the corner prior. Reddick tried to get him back, and in doing so, not only Reddick got back by, but so did Eric Jones in the 43. Oof. Well, those 4 were eliminated already. Harvick was actually eliminated in the round of 12. Keselowski was that other driver eliminated in the last round. Busch was close. He only missed by 3 points. Blaney missed by double digits. I think Keselowski only missed by like 3 or 4 points, too. A little tap to the back of the 43. Then Busch and Keselowski almost won the last race, too. They finished 2nd and 3rd. Could have got their way in as well. My goodness. Bell was just really beating up the 43 car of Eric Jones through there. I mean, I don't think that damage really slowed Blaney down a whole lot, though, considering it was Martinsville. Maybe a little payback that time for Bell to Reddick. And Reddick will let Bell go now. I don't think Bell appreciated the contact they had before when he passed him cleanly. Look at Bell send it into the next corner. He didn't think that was going to be a great area to get around Corey LaJoie, but he made it look easy. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. Why is the car smoking? I don't know. That's the graphics of NASCAR 21 edition, I guess. Pulls out of line, makes the pass on Austin Dillon. So much better into turn 1 that time than the little drivers ahead. BJ McLeod's back to 15th. Poor break for him. He was running 2nd for most of the day. He's led 4 laps. Gasses it up, passes his teammate Kyle Busch. Getting a really good draft off the 12 car of Ryan Blaney in front of him. He'll pull out a line into the braking zone to make the pass on the 12. Bell now will make a pass on the S's on BJ McLeod. Only 14 cars on the lead lap. Bell has dominated and has led all but 4 of the first 36 laps of the race. Two of those in the middle of green flag pit stops. Yeah, my prediction again is Larson to win the race and the championship today. But yeah, as far as this car smoking, Patrick Shadley asked that a little bit ago as well, and I just can't, like, I don't know. This game does it. I've noticed it's been on the short tracks and the road courses. It seems like the car smokes after a couple laps into the race, and it's not because you're locking the brakes up, because I don't even have to lock the brakes up. NASCAR Heat 5 had that same problem too, only it wasn't as consistent as this game. Heat 5, it would only like really happen when your tires got to a certain point of the run, but this one, it's like from like lap 2 or 3 on. Logano trying to pick up the throttle in turn 4 on the curbing, and he got sideways. Oh man, he almost wiped out again. Getting into the chicane, Bell checked up a little bit, but still didn't have to check up as much as Logano as they side draft each other back and forth there. Bell going to throw the block on Joey before entering into the braking zone into turn 7. Well, Quinn Houff in 11th place right now. The 48 car sliding around a ton. It's going to allow Bell to get by Alex Bowman, and Bowman just drilled the right rear of Christopher Bell. Same spot Tyler Reddick did a few laps ago. Only that time he didn't knock the 20 car into the grass, losing too much time, but he did knock him a little bit sideways. Bell was able to hang on. Bell looking to pull out, make a pass on Truex. Try to get away from the 19 to make sure that Truex wasn't going to be able to side draft him there. Bell's going to go back up himself on the racetrack, trying to maybe side draft the 19. They're side by side into turn 1. Truex holds on. Bell is all over the back of the 19 car, though. Oh, a little side swipe as the teammates made it through. Bell just blew turn 4, though, and Truex is going to get back underneath him. Side by side into the S's. Both cars had to slow up quite a bit, but they make it through the corner, luckily. That allows the 48 car of Alex Bowman to get a run now onto the long straight. Truex going to try to throw a couple blocks now before heading back into the braking zone in turn 7. Those two battle for 12. I mean, even if it does that when you're going under 100 miles an hour, it's like, just because you're on the gas at 100 miles an hour, the car just shouldn't be smoking like it is. Like, it's on the gas or braking. It's probably the least biggest issue of this game, though. If we're all being honest with each other. Just a couple laps shy of the halfway mark today in the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. Bell continues to lead. And he has lapped quite a few cars as well. Only the top 10 on the lead lap. Oh, man. That was not a good moment there for Christopher Bell into the sand. That slows him down quite a bit. Guess he could do that and have a little bit of time to kill back to the second place car. Does anybody know what F1 is? I mean, we know what Formula 1 is. Honestly, anybody that pays even the slightest attention to motorsports would be able to tell you what Formula 1 is, or at least a, broad part of it. Man, Ross Chastain just brake checked Christopher Bell in the 20. Bell hit him pretty good. Luckily, there's not really too much damage on the front of the 20 car, thankfully. See, Chase Elliott is up to second place as well. Ooh, Chastain thought about throwing a block. Wasn't clear, though, and that allowed for the 20 car to side draft him and really pull the air back. Into turn 1, Bell's going to go wide. And he cut the course there, so we're going to come to a stop. Stop and go penalty. First time Bell's blown a corner in the race today. It's going to allow quite a few more cars to get back on the lead lap. Only creates more traffic in front of the 20 of Bell again. Into the S's side by side. Not a lot of room to do that. Oh man, this is a great battle though. Not for position between Alex Bowman and Christopher Bell, but Bell powers right through and oh man, clipped the wall a little bit. That actually helped slow him down for the next corner because it looked like he was going to be carrying too much speed in there at first. And Martin Truex Jr. will pit at lap 40, so Truex, it looks like Bowman will pit as well. Some drivers short pitting for their second stop of the day. Bell will go a couple more laps before he pits himself. I could probably name most of the starting field. I wouldn't be able. I don't think I can name all 20 of them, but I'm well aware of Formula One. I wouldn't be able to tell you what teams they race for, though. I mean, as far as the driver names themselves go. Yeah, Bottas, Hamilton, Verstappen, Ricciardo. I'm trying to like go towards the top. Geez, I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now. I think I'm just trying to multitask and it's getting the best of me. Oh, Quinn Houff. Sideways. We've seen a lot of drivers get sideways in that area of the track. We saw the 48 struggling. Bell just struggled that time himself right there, and Houff passed him right back. Kevin Harvick almost spun out in that section. Middle of the S's. Alonso. Vettel. Lando Norris. How many have I named so far? 7 or 8? 8 of them, I think. Leclerc. Mazepin. Schumacher. See, I got 11. 10 or 11. I can't remember how many I've named exactly. I got 10 or 11 of them. I got half the field. I could probably name more if I like really think, but I don't know who that Japanese guy is. I don't think I can pronounce his name, but I've seen him. He's very new, isn't he? I think he's like a rookie. Bell's going to lock him up. And he'll be wide in turn 6. Still had 2 tires in the grass on the curb and wasn't able to get going. Wow, Bell needs to pit for tires right now. He has struggled these last 2 to 3 laps trying to keep the car on the racetrack. And Quinn Houff is keeping pace, if not running a faster pace than him. Almost missed that corner too, using all the curbing. Bell will pit this time. 20 laps into the run, it'll be a second pit stop of the race. 55 miles an hour is that pit road speed limit. So 4 tires and fuel for Christopher Bell. No adjustments once again. Second of 3 pit stops on the day. Oh, I forgot about Stroll and Latifi. Giovinazzi. I've heard of these names. The second stop of the day for Christopher Bell. Pit stop animation again reversed compared to normal. Having to go to the left side of the race car before the right side of the race car. Pretty good stop that time for Christopher Bell and his crew. He makes his way out of the pit lane. There's the race leader, Chase Briscoe, who still has to pit. And Christopher Bell getting up to speed. Look at how quickly on fresh tires, just in about 3 or 4 turns, that he has caught Briscoe, and he will make the pass with ease for the lead. So Bell did not lose a lap led that time around. Briscoe did not lead at the start-finish line. He did lead into turns 1 through 3 before Bell made the pass in turn 4 and now pulls away from him on the next long straight leading into turn 7. So the final pit stop will be scheduled for lap 62 for Christopher Bell when the time comes. Obviously, we've been seeing mid-portion of green flag pit stops going on for the second time. Things are definitely looking up for Christopher Bell in this one. Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin back inside the top 5 once again, and Chase Elliott definitely one of the favorites anytime NASCAR goes to a road course. But he has been on a tear. Back-to-back top 3s coming into the race today, including that win 2 races ago at Martinsville, and maybe looking to make it 3 straight top 3 finishes today at the Indy road course. It's the line of lap traffic coming up again, though. These are all cars that have already pit. Reddick pulls out a line down to the inside. I don't know if that was going to protect or if he was just pulling out of the way for Christopher Bell to make a pass on him, but either way it works. Kyle Busch laid into the braking zone in turn 1, trying to make a pass on Ryan Blaney. Well done by Kyle Busch. Made that look easy. Bell to the outside in turn 2. Oh, Busch into the grass. Kyle Busch went a little wide into the grass that time. Bell checked up, almost got into the back of him. Busch trying to block the 20 as he wants to remain on the lead lap. Blaney right there. Heavy contact with the Gibbs cars. A couple times into the chicane. Kyle Busch checked up a lot earlier than Bell anticipated, and Bell just creamed the back of the 18 car. We are just past the halfway point today. Bell's got a pretty decent-sized lead. Oh, now we got into Ross Chastain. Getting into everybody this lap. Bowman almost slid into the wall. He gets loose now in the short chute of 1 and 2. Oh, man. Chastain almost got into the left rear of Bell, who went wide and had to check up just to keep the 2 tires on the curbing. We're going to go low and try to break the draft. He's definitely going to be struggling with that speed on the long straightaways. Bowman goes low, trying to block the line of the 20 of Bell. Bell decided to go wide. Bell will make the pass, though, this time in turn 4 on Alex Bowman. David Reagan holding up Martin Truex Jr. up here. And here comes Bell with the run. Truex will go a lap down. Zigzagging into the traffic now to the inside of David Reagan into turn 7. That's definitely some damage that is going to have to be repaired for Christopher Bell when he makes it into the pits this time. They will not be able to repair it all. Again, they've got time to be able to repair it. Luckily, there is still one more scheduled pit stop left in the race. But he's going to ride it out until he gets to lap 62 so he doesn't have to make an extra stop. Thought his straightaway speed was going to be slowed down a little more. I guess that wasn't the case. Makes his way past Logano and Kazgrala. Trying to undercut that 51 car of Cody Ware. Got out of the gas. Bell flies by him on the inside. To the next heavy braking zone. Bell shoots the gap, trying to get around Timmy Hill. Luce trying to get back to the gas off the curbing. Running as Christopher Bell for the season because of the fan vote that we had before our Daytona 500 for this custom schedule season. You guys wanted me to run as Christopher Bell, or at least those who were in the chat that took their vote wanted me to run as Bell for the season, so Christopher Bell won the vote. So pass on the 66 a hill. Wanted to make sure he was clear before pulling up, and he was. Bell under Suarez. Suarez with a really low entrance into the corner. Contact between Bell and Ty Dillon. Dillon going to let Bell go after the contact. I don't think he realized that he was on his inside into turn 4. It was a pretty good move by Bell. He had 2 tires on the curb. He couldn't really go any lower. There was such a late dive into the corner, too, that with the 99 of Suarez right there as well, I don't even think Ty Dillon realized that Christopher Bell was closing in as quick as he did. A lot of CO2 coming out of the car. Yeah, we're polluting the earth quite a bit right now. Bubba Wall's going to pull into the pit lane. All side by side with the 52. Back onto the oval. Bell got to go down low, try to break the draft again. Currently at lap 49. This might be the definition, the literal definition of burning rubber. NASCAR 21 ignition with all the tire smoke. smoke wherever it's coming from. Like, it's really hard to tell. Just random smoke out of the right front. This was well before we even made any contact with anybody. While trying to outbreak the 77 of Justin Haley, does it with ease. Still hits his marks beautifully into the corner. Closes on that 38 car of Anthony Alfredo. Really sends it in there on Alfredo. So we're going to go wide. Alfredo's probably going to get right back around him here. Nope, never mind. He's coming into the pit. So is Justin Haley. A lot of the lap cars making their second pit stops of the race. They're saving a lot more on fuel if they're able to go about 25 laps roughly into their respective fuel runs. So the field's still trying to cycle out after we had our green flag pit stops, which started about 10 laps ago from where we're at right now. Not sure exactly how many cars are on the lead lap. Nobody in front of Christopher Bell right now, so a lot of clean air. There's a couple more cars up the way in the S's that Bell's closing in. They're in the middle of the S's right as he was entering it, so they're a couple turns ahead yet. Man, Bell cannot get the car to turn. I think with the damage on the race car, it's making the car a lot tighter than what it was prior to the damage on the first two fuel runs of the race. $50 laps complete. Still 32 to go. At the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Favorite F1 race of the year so far? I've only watched one. I did watch part of the Coda race, and the only reason I caught I didn't catch right at the beginning, but I was watching the NASCAR race at Kansas, and then they had a rain delay after like a dozen laps, and I was watching the Coda F1 race only because NASCAR race was on a rain delay, so I caught like maybe 20 minutes of it. So I only saw that, and then the very first race of the year in the Australian, I think it was the Australian Grand Prix, was the only two, might be Austria, I don't know. I know it was the first race of the season. Those are the only two races I've seen all year. Only one from start to finish I've seen. I'll probably end up watching some races at the end of the season with NASCAR ending today. So they got like 2 or 3 races left yet. I don't think I'll catch all of them, but if I remember they're on, I'll probably end up tuning in. As long as my Packers aren't playing at the same time, at least. Which I don't think I'll have to deal with that. There'll probably be earlier start times anyway. Unless they're in North America again. Have they raced in Canada yet? I would assume they probably have. Feels like it'd be kind of late in the year to go there. So Chris Buescher in 11th, BJ McLeod in 10th are the two drivers. Just up ahead. Oh no! Into the wall goes Christopher Bell. The third time he's gotten into the wall today, second time in that area of the racetrack, and he has blown a left front tire while leading the race. 30 laps to go. This time by as he tries to make it into the pit lane, and they are going to have to make repairs on an unscheduled pit stop. An unscheduled stop for Christopher Bell. Problems while leading the Verizon 200. It was such a perfect, clean race for the first 51 laps, but lap 52 has now caused disaster with just 30 to go. Just got back in the gas way too soon. The car was super tight with all the damage on it. We saw that over the last couple laps prior to him getting into the wall and short shoot of oval 1 and 2. But now there's major problems for Christopher Bell. They're going to have to try their best to pull the fenders out. They're sawing off the right. We hit it with the left front, but they'll saw off the right front, I guess. It's the thought that counts. And Christopher Bell has now lost the lead for the first time on speed in today's race with the unscheduled stop at about lap 53. Fifth place is where Christopher Bell has scored. 30 laps to go. He's got fresh tires. We know he's got a fast race car. And the only mistake, major mistake that is, that he has made all day really costed him. Running the draft to the 51, still got into the left rear. He kind of pulled out of line a little late. Bell cannot make it on fuel to the end of the race from here. Nobody has gone 30 laps into a run. About 25 is the longest, and he's only made it 22 laps. Hasn't really tried to push it, and I don't think he's going to try to push it to the end of the race. So Bell will have to make another stop with the leaders. Now it's time to try and run them down. What was such a nice, calm race for Christopher Bell so far has nearly turned disastrous. It's just not easy with this game. Another reason he got a bunch of damage was because Kyle Busch had checked up sooner than he anticipated heading into the chicane about 10 laps prior to him getting into the wall there in the short chute, but the car just tightens up so much on the long run now. With the damage, they did repair as much damage as they could during that last pit stop. So he makes the pass on Josh Bilicki. We don't know what the interval's like between any of these guys right now either. He slides through the corner. Well, Chase Elliott might be in the lead. Earl Arnold Jr., welcome to the stream. No, we'll be live streaming the predictions today. I couldn't get everything. I wouldn't have had time to edit it this morning before going live at noon for today's race, so we get everything in before the start of the Phoenix race. So we'll be doing a live stream of the predictions leading up to the start of the race today at Phoenix. Not right up to the drop of the green flag, but up until about 20-25 minutes beforehand. Sit down for about a half hour or so, talk about some NASCAR. And that will be after the conclusion of this race here today. Big line of traffic coming up in front of the 20. Definitely cannot afford another big hit to the race car today. Late into the braking zone, he'll make a pass on Ryan Newman with ease. Fresh tires are definitely going to help him try to roll back to the back of the pack. Trying to make a pass on Daniel Suarez on the high side. And he will. Diving down to the bottom underneath Justin Haley. A little too wide, though, out into the grass. Haley gets right back around him. Fell down to the inside. Trying to break the trap from the cars behind him. Pulls out of line into turn 1. Haley trying to break the draft himself. Bell sends it in there. Makes the pass with ease. Bell into the right rear BJ McLeod. It's all the way back to 30th, unfortunately, for him. No, the picks don't lock until about 5 minutes before the race. 5 minutes before the drop of the green flag, to be exact. Usually. I don't know why they would lock well before that. I don't even have my lineup in right now yet. Sends it in on Anthony Alfredo. Makes a clean pass. Trying to get through these lap cars as quickly as he can with the fresh tires. No leader. No, I guess, leaderboard to show exactly where the leaders are at. So just like at Sonoma yesterday, Christopher Bell having to come from behind today at the Indianapolis road course. Bubba Wallace going to pull out of line. Let his affiliated teammate go. Bell's going to overcook it, though, in turn 1. He's not gaining any time back, because on the faster cars, at least. Doing an hour before the race last week and only got par. That's weird. Yeah, usually it's like 5 minutes before. I hope not, because like I said, I don't have my lineup in right now. I was going to put it in after this race before I started the predictions live stream. Oh, car in the wall. Corey LaJoie. That's the same spot Christopher Bell ended up blowing his tire. Oh, man, got into the 7 car. Almost turned him, and he's hooked on him. Made contact with Corey LaJoie, then he just got hooked on him. Side by side now between the 7 and the 20. Well, makes the pass finally on LaJoie. Longer than anticipated. Chase Briscoe scored maybe about 3 seconds ahead of Bell in the 4th position. Drives it in deep on the 53 car of Joey Gase, who's in 23rd. Pretty solid run for that Rick Ware racing machine. Bell held up behind him in the S's. Now he'll make a pass on him before they get back into that short chute. There's definitely still time. Luckily, Bell had a big enough lead to have that issue happen. Everybody still has to pit one more time before the end of the race. So we know he's got the speed in the race car to run these guys down. Hopefully that damage isn't going to affect him too much. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but he also has fresher tires with the damage right now. Widen turn one again. The car just gets tight after nearly 10 laps. I mean, it's been 7, 8 laps since he pit. 7 to be exact. Damage is just not helping the steer in the race car. One of the lap cars just got loosed right into the 14, and they made a little bit of contact as well. That slows Briscoe down enough for Bell to be able to shoot the gap and make the pass on that 14 car for 4th place. I think that was Michael McDowell in the 34 who held up Chase Briscoe just enough with the contact. .23 laps to go at the start-finish line this time by at Indy. Nice draft down this long straight now before pulling out of line on Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47. Tight area of the track. Oh, Stenhouse! Almost went for a bit of a slide. Well, did go for a bit of a slide. Bell trying to work around the 47 car after he got loose a little bit ago. Not a really good entry into the chicane that time for Christopher Bell. And here comes the run by the 14. So Stenhouse holding up Bell just a bit. Big block now before entering into the braking zone for Bell on the 14. Of Chase Briscoe. Pulls out of line in the S's, so finally make the pass on Stenhouse. Briscoe left to now try and pass the 47. Really, really good into the braking zone that time. Big run on that 4 car of Kevin Harvick, and he'll make another nice, clean pass. Side draft on the 2 of Keselowski. Pulls way out of line to try and break the trap, making sure Brad doesn't side draft him back. Bell has clearance to pull up high. And did. Late into the braking zone in turn 1. Locked the tires up right at the end, but he does keep the car on the asphalt. Part throttle, heavy braking zone into 4. Now stand on the gas. Into the chicane. Big run on Austin Dillon. Dillon slipped up enough. Bell makes a quick pass on him. Now he's in the draft of Quint Houff. Railing him in. Kurt Busch in second. Denny Hamlin third. Chase Elliott is likely the leader. Bell will get by Houff in turn 7. A lot of clean air now in front of the 20. Next car, way up ahead, will be Hamlin in third. Bell's going to go a little wide, though. Yeah, we'll have 20 laps to go this time by, so we are definitely getting down to the waning moments of the race. Fell really wide. That's the second lap in a row. He almost completely missed turn 1. Pit window is open to the end of the race for anybody who decided to pit right now. We'd only have 20 laps to go this time by. They'll not going to repair any damage on the last stop. I don't think he can afford to. And end up with a clean day. And he came out of the pits with 30 to go, so if he were to split the run in half, it'd be 15 and 15 laps. May decide to pit when the leaders do as well. Kurt Busch has made a pass on Chase Elliott that last lap for the lead. I wonder if Elliott might have came into the pits early. There is a car in the pit lane, and I believe it is Elliott. So Chase Elliott will pit from the lead with 20 laps to go this time by. Again, that fuel window is open to the end of the race. Everybody can make it. Elliott, the leader, did not want to be the last one of these top 4 to pit. So he should be able to gain a little bit of time. That was definitely reeling in Hamlin. Does seem like Kurt Busch is pulling away from the 11 a little bit. I think there's one lap car in between them. Can't tell if that's Blaney or Byron up there. It's Blaney. On the track map, at least it shows that it's Blaney in 12th. Good into the braking zone. Bell closes in on his teammate Hamlin. Hamlin slides in the S's. At least on entry. And Bell. Oh man, he cleared Hamlin. Hamlin doored him right back. Contact there. Hamlin is racing the 20 hard. Got to watch out. The 11's trying to pit. The 11 was trying to pit. And he ran his teammate up off the racetrack nearly. Both cars kept it out of the grass. Bell wasn't planning on pitting this lap, but I guess he will anyway, with the 11 wanting to pit right in front of him and nearly took him out. 4 tires stop. 19 to go when these drivers come out of the pit lane. Unless Chase Elliott had a really slow stop, he should cycle back as a leader when everybody cycles through. Very surprised Denny Hamlin tried to rough up his teammate there after his teammate had passed him clean. Hamlin got into him twice after the fact. Bell cycling his way out of the pits. Hamlin's quite a ways ahead of him. So another slow stop, it looked like, on the 20 at Bell. Not as slow as the last 2 stops, but that would be the 4th and final one of the day. Again, he was expecting a 3 pit stop race, but having to pit that extra time, blowing the left front tire with 30 laps to go, definitely hurt him. Now he's got fresh tires back on the car again, sends it into the chicane. Almost missed it. Side by side with David Reagan, the 36 car. Big pass out of time for Christopher Bell. And he's going to blow into turn 7. Bell has blown turn 7, trying to get back on the track. Reagan gets back around him again. Well, that was a tough break. Wheeling Reagan back in again. Should pass him in the next corner. Maybe the cold tires were hitting Christopher Bell. I mean, he just came out of the pits and either that or maybe felt like Superman on fresh tires, thought he could break even later into the corner. It was way too late. $18 to go. Chase Briscoe's the leader. I believe he still has to pit of the drivers at the front of the field. Bell was fourth when the pit stop started. I don't know, Cap, if that was so much a smart move or just I had to do it. I mean, we would have lost so much time that lap if we didn't pit. Just because of Hamlin running us wide with Denny wanting to pit there, and he was committed to pitting no matter what. Somehow, on the pit lane, they were able to run side by side, or at least not the pit lane itself, but side by side onto the access road to get into the pits. A super narrow area of the racetrack. Hamlin's definitely got a lot of lap traffic in front of him, and he has been held up in the lap traffic here as of late. He'll pulls down to the bottom of the racetrack to easily get around the 51 of Cody Ware. He'll pull wide and clear now. Well, before they make their way into turn one. Comes Ryan Blaney out of the pit lane, down on the inside, out of the way. Bell into the braking zone in turn one. Great corner for him. Blaney comes out of the pits right in front of Christopher Bell. Bell had to check up to keep him running into the back of the 12. He'll pass him on the outside in turn three, though. And now dives into four, looking to the inside. Hamlin not going to make it easy. He hasn't so far. Look at all the lap traffic ahead of the leaders. This is going to get interesting. Kurt Busch actually did cycle ahead of Chase Elliott, and I wonder if it was largely due to the lap traffic. Timmy Hill held up Denny Hamlin enough off the exit of the chicane. Bell makes the pass for third. Hamlin charging right back after him, though. And now Chase Elliott with the line of lap traffic right in front. Kurt Busch only a couple cars up the way in front of the 9 of Elliott. Elliott slides off the curbing. Bell to the inside. Contact with the 52. He doors Josh Bilicki. Elliott still gets caught behind the 52 car, and Bell's back to third. Again, Briscoe is the leader. But he still has to pit wherever he's at on the racetrack. Lockup on the 8. Tyler Reddick. Bell needs to get around the 8 of Reddick very quickly here. Oh, big block that time by Reddick. So Bell pulled all the way down to the bottom. Now he'll pull a block of his own on Tyler Reddick as Elliott's still trying to close in from behind. Into the braking zone, into turn one. A little bit of a lockup. But a great job closing the gap that time for Bell. And he's looking on Kurt Busch for the lead. Runs out of real estate in turn two. Kurt looking to go wide on the 99 of Suarez. Trying to make a quick pass. And he does. All clear. Into the chicane. Suarez backs out early to give Bell the run. Bell goes really wide. Curbing throwing that big heavy stock car around. So Briscoe pit that last time by. Kurt Busch is scored the leader. Bell now in second place. And there's about 5 lap cars in front of the leaders right now as Bell closes the gap into 7. Busch beats him back to the gas. Bell's been rolling through the S's really good all day today. Kurt Busch on the curbing that time. Hit his marks. Bell, though, shoots the gap. Trying to make the passes. Kurt Busch can't quite pull to the right rear corner panel. Christopher Bell is clear, and he's back in the lead. Rick Ware caught James Davidson in the way, though. Bell had to be careful getting back to the gas. Now there's a lap car between the top two. 15 laps to go at the Indianapolis road course this time by. Bell trying to get around Ryan Newman in the 6. It's on the inside of Newman. And let's see if he can pull clear. Yes, he does. Newman lets him in line.
One left. Clear.
Bell held up behind Suarez. Ryan Newman still holding up. Kurt Busch, it looks like, back there. Bell still beats Suarez back to the gas and makes a pass to put him another lap down. Sorry, not Suarez. That's Ty Dillon in the 96 car. I was thinking of NASCAR Heat 5 there for a second. We just passed Suarez a few laps ago. It's probably the most lap traffic that the leaders have faced all day long, though. Bell on the outside of Ross Chastain. Gonna make a pass. And does. Justin Haley slides up into the short chute. Open the gap on the bottom for Bell. BJ McLeod back to 24th. Kyle Busch in 23rd. Oh, man. Bell tried to get to the outside of the 78 car. He did with a little bit of contact. That's going to slow the straightaway speed up for Bell, especially with the 78 underneath him. Trying to outbrake BJ McLeod. McLeod stays in front of the 20. Bell trying to get around him, and he got into him. Almost turned the Live Fast Motorsport 4 to BJ McLeod. Side by side into the chicane. BJ McLeod's putting up a fight right now on Christopher Bell, and Bell's not able to get away from Kurt Busch. Still got a couple lap cars between the top two. Bell shoots the gap underneath the 78 car into turn 7. Finally makes the pass. McLeod held him up for almost an entire lap. Big run for Christopher Bell, and he makes the pass on Kyle Busch. A lot easier than the last time those two were near one another. Big run. Bell blows by the 48 of Bowman. Locks the tires up with a big slide now as he passes the 38. Anthony Alfredo just weaving in and out of the lap cars. Passes Bubba Wallace now. Matt DiBenedetto pits in front of him for his final stop of the day. Oh. 13 laps to go for Christopher Bell to go for back-to-back wins. It'll be the first time anybody will go back-to-back this season. Bell to the inside, off the exit of turn 2, which put him to the inside into 3 and possibly 4 if they would have still been side-by-side, but he cleared Almirola before getting into turn 4. So right back to a runaway race again here for Christopher Bell as poor LaJoie got really loose. Bell almost got into the side of him. Oh, big slide by the 24 of Byron. Bell sends it in on Truex too. He's been very aggressive with the passes, but he's been making it pretty clean for the most part following that last pit stop. Definitely fun to watch him just wheel his way through the field. He just wants to see that white flag as soon as possible now. Maybe the second straight caution-free race. Again, Bell has won the first 2 caution-free races of the season. Trying to make it 3 if we don't get a yellow here late. How about Quinn Houff running in the 9th position? I don't know if he's made his final stop or not yet either, but he's having himself a pretty good day as Bell goes a little wider what he wanted to in turn 1. Not terrible. Not great either. point in the run. 9-10 laps in. The car's got to get really tight again. I know he's pushing hard, but pulling away like he is right now. A lot of clean air in front of him for the immediate time being. This has to be smart. And that wasn't a great move there either. Chug beer up the rear to get a better buzz. Welcome to the stream. Ten laps to go this time by for Christopher Bell. He will definitely be catching more lap traffic over the next couple laps. He's built himself up a nice gap for now. Again, just has to keep the fenders on it at this point. It's been his race to lose today. Does look like we have 10 drivers on the lead lap right now. Logano battling Quinn Houff for that 9th position. They're the last two on the lead lap. Bell has absolutely dominated. This will be the second race in which Bell has led the most laps in a race this season. And the other one was Talladega, where he won in dominating fashion there. Believe it or not, though, this was probably the cleanest race all season long. Yeah, I picked Sky Larson, too. Don't know exactly how dominant he'll be today, but he's definitely my pick to win the race in the championship. Go put a lap on Logano. And now a lap on Quinn Houff in the very next couple corners. Still shows Chase Elliott in third place. Kurt Busch, therefore, would still be in second. Hamlin, I would assume, still in fourth. Not sure who cycled back into fifth, if it was Chase Briscoe or not. Cole Custer's been at 6th. He's had a top 10 run all day long for himself. Almost ran the car off the track again in turn 7. many times have we done that today? I mean, it probably actually hasn't been that much. We went way off the track in turn 7 twice, but you know, outside of that, we might have had all 4 tires off only a couple extra times than that. With it being this game and 74 laps in with a damaged race car, that's not bad. Not at all. And that's with giving myself the benefit of the doubt. Looked like Kurt Busch was maybe 12 seconds behind the race leader, Christopher Bell. A lot of lap cars coming out of the pits, Cole Custer being one of them. Custer still scored in 8th, but no longer in 6th place position, so now just 7 cars are on the lead lap as we run. "75 laps now complete, back to the start-finish line. Definitely with the older tires and the damage to the car, these last 2 laps now, Christopher Bell is taking it really easy into the braking zone. I know he wants to get to that white flag as soon as possible, but blowing that left front tire once today and then 3 times yesterday at Sonoma, I think he's had enough blown tires for now that he just wants to get to the end unscathed at all costs. He hasn't dealt with that much traffic over the last 5 to 6 laps. He will be catching more lap traffic by the end of this current lap. It's like Daniel Suarez. Next car in front of him. Another couple cars beyond Suarez yet. That in the field has to be so spaced out now after 3 sets of pit stops for the rest of the field. And having a caution-free race up to this point with no stages. It's going to be a lot harder to cause the yellow now versus when things were bunched up, say, like they were at the beginning of the day. Oh boy, Bell on the outside. Almost got into the wall. He got out of the gas to let the 99 of Suarez go. Second time he tried to make a pass on the outside of that turn. First time he got in the wall earlier. He didn't blow a tire in that corner earlier. Definitely a closer call than what Bell would have hoped for. Into turn 4. He'll make the move under Suarez. Will contact. Beat Suarez back to the gas off the exit of the chicane. And he's all clear. 5.5 laps remain at the Indianapolis Road Course in the Verizon 200. Our next full race live stream on this custom schedule season for race number 11 will be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here on the channel. I honestly cannot remember where we go next, so I will check as soon as this race comes to an end. 5 laps to go. Even having to make that extra pit stop with the blown left front tire compared to the rest of the field today, Christopher Bell, for the most part, has put on a clinic. Great big run in the draft on Justin Haley. Pulls out of line to make the pass. It clears him before getting into the heavier portion of that braking zone to slow the car up in turn 7. Quite a bit of lap traffic in front of Christopher Bell coming up, but again, he has widened out that lead. This shouldn't be a problem in the fact of costing him his real good chance at the win. Barring, of course, again, nothing catastrophic happens. I mean, that is a lot of cars he's definitely going to be dependent on to hit their marks. With 4 laps to go this time by. Oh, man. Bell got to the inside, tried to side draft the right rear corner panel of Corey LaJoie, and LaJoie just kind of pulled down into him. I think he was trying to pull a block, and he was a little too late with it. LaJoie trying to cross him over into turn 1, it looks like as well. Oh, barely keeps the car on the racetrack. All 4 tires up onto the curbing that time. Bit of a power slide into turn number 4. Beats Anthony Alfredo back to the gas. Makes a nice clean pass on him down the second long straight of the racetrack. Braking zone in turn 7 now. Pulls to the back bumper of Ty Dillon. William Byron back-to-back and finishes, it looks like, for him on these road courses. Well, makes an evasive maneuver to make the pass off the exit of the S's on Ty Dillon, putting him another lap down. Oh, closing on Byron. On the outside of the 24 car right now. Byron holds clear. Bell going to start on the outside of the next corner. Try to take that undercut. Byron holds on pretty strong for right that time, but Bell will be in the draft down the main straightaway. 3 laps to go for Christopher Bell at Indy. Maybe not the traditional Brickyard 400, but anytime you can win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it is a very big deal in any motorsport. Bumper tag to the back of the 24. We'll bump and run. Good run into the chicane. He'll lap Bubba Wallace again. Oh my goodness. He was actually going to make that corner pretty well, but he was on the brakes for a long time, trying not to get into the left rear corner panel of the 10 of Almirola. Two laps to go this time by. Bell on the high side of Stenhouse. This area of the track has not worked side by side a lot. Into the wall. Second time he's hit that wall up the final corner today. 2 laps to go at Indy. Bell starting to, he was taking it easy there for a while until these last 2 laps, and he's maybe picked up the pace when he really shouldn't. There's no need. Stenhouse gets sideways. He gets into the grass. and almost wiped out in front of the leader. Bell makes the pass in turn 4 on him after Stenhouse slipped up in turns 2 and 3. Aiden is Bunny, welcome to the stream. Pass on the S's on Matt DiBenedetto. Eddie D will go another lap down. And we still have 7 cars on the lead lap here today at Indy. A little wide that time for Christopher Bell. All but official. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. And the newest version of the Brickyard 400. This will be Christopher Bell's 3rd win of the season. It will therefore then be his 3rd win of his career in his 1st season with Joe Gibbs Racing and 2nd season in the NASCAR Cup Series. Didn't want to enter side-by-side into the chicane, so he let the 4 of Kevin Harvick go. In the draft of Harvick now, Harvick going to try to protect that bottom lane, at least initially. Bell still gets into the corner really hard, and he'll make a clean pass on Harvick. Oh, man, Harvick with a crossover. They almost made contact. Now they're side-by-side into the S's. Harvick slips off the curbing. Bell should get around him again right here, and does. And that's going to be the last lap car Bell's going to have to catch today. Clean air in front of him for the final 3 to 4 turns. Shouldn't get to the 34 of Michael McDowell, who would be the next car in front of him. And now just 1 more turn. And back onto the main straight to the Yard of Bricks. Christopher Bell is going to win the Verizon 200 at Indianapolis. Bell is a winner at Indy. Career win number 3 for Christopher Bell. A masterful day. And we'll see what that margin of victory will be over Kurt Busch. The top 7 cars finished on the lead lap in this one. There you look at the finishing results. Christopher Bell ends up finishing with the win. Kurt Busch 2nd, Chase Elliott 3rd, Denny Hamlin 4th, and Chase Briscoe rounds out the top 5. Kyle Larson 6th, Chris Buescher 7th, Cole Custer 8th, Martin Truex Jr. 9th, and Kyle Busch will round out the top 10. So Busch had a great comeback. I think he was waiting on a lot of guys to cycle through when we last saw him in 22nd. So that's probably why he ended up getting back inside the top 10. 42nd margin of victory between Christopher Bell and Kurt Busch here today. So even having to pit that extra time, that just goes to show the real speed. Taking a picture of the finishing results here, so that way I can continue to do the points myself. But Christopher Bell, first driver to 3 wins on the year. Took till after 10 races. But he now has 3 wins in the last 5 races this season that we have ran on this custom schedule season so far. And we get to see Christopher Bell in Victory Lane at Indianapolis. I want to see what the Victory Lane looks like in this game. We should be on that high rise. Should be. That'd be pretty cool if they actually showed that. And there's Bell climbing out of the race car. 2nd win with DeWalt. on the card this season. He has won in both paint schemes he has ran with. Ream has one win. That was last night at Sonoma. It's kind of hard to tell if we were on the high rise or not, but we should have been. Alrighty, well, that's going to wrap things up here today. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I will see you guys in a few for our pre-race predictions live stream leading you up to the start of the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race at Phoenix, the season finale 500. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes again. Thanks for watching, as always. Next live stream for NASCAR 21 Ignition tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to hit that notification button on your way out. And have a good one, everybody.